The transfer portal giveth and the transfer taketh away. And guess what? It's been giveth today here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show, a Hog Media production presented by Sleeper. That's Coop. I'm Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listen to while you're here. Please wipe your feet, like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Y'all think we deserve it. Go ahead and give us 5 anyway and gift it. So, on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, me and Coop got a lot of stuff that we got to cover, like 6 transfer portal wins today. A possibility for a 7th. You might even get an 8th. Or even a 9th. I'm not sure, but I'm telling you this. The staff, Jim Nagy, all of them are on fire as we speak. Coop, how you feeling, my boy?
A little agitated. I was trying to make videos this morning for everybody to get jacked up and get excited. I finished 2 different videos. You got so many different guys coming through here, trying to send them to you. And you could even, we couldn't get them edited and posted fast enough because the news just kept dropping. So I say agitated because of that, but then, pretty excited. You just see time after time. It's every single tweet. You're like, surely not. Like you've gone from, come on, please be us to again, really again. So again, I'm pretty excited about that.
Again. Yeah, we're getting a lot of again moments over the last, I guess you could say, 4 hours. It's like every single time I looked up, I was actually going to try to make a couple videos on these recruits. But the minute I sat down to actually do something, I finished up my work. I had some stuff I'm going to do later on tonight and put things down, get here, start to get all the graphics. And guess what? Another one hits. So we're going to go through all of the commitments that we have gotten so far. We're going to walk through each one, tell you how we feel about them. And then we'll also close things out. We'll probably go for about an hour. And we'll close things out and talk about the future players, the players that, could be also coming. Because as y'all are saying here in the comment section, there's a lot of players that we are waiting on to actually give us some news. And so I'm going to also keep this Twitter Bird app up just in case, because, the news just won't stop coming. Let's just put it that way. So let's start off and simplify things. Let's begin on the offensive line. Thank you all for pulling up. Please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. First one to come down is our boy Caleb Nitta, offensive lineman. He started at Virginia Tech. That's where he was as a freshman, redshirted there, and then went to Western Kentucky. He started in 9 games for the Hilltoppers. 9. And I went and looked at his grades. Boy, cool. He did really good against LSU in his game. Like, he didn't even get abused in that game. Like, he's like an 80-something grade in the pass protection. I was impressed. This, for those that need to understand it, he's young. So this is a really, really good depth piece.
Yeah, and you're seeing, we talked about it last night on the live, the regular scheduled programming, that you lost a lot of depth. You've got some young guys that are going to be coming in. And I think I made a comment where I said, you got a lot of positions that are pretty set. And I don't think that's an actual accurate statement, because I think that you want the best 5 out there. So I do think that Bill Bedenbaugh and, Ben Arbuckle, Brent Venables, they're going to have it to where it's, all right, guys, you played a lot this year. We need this offensive line to be a difference maker next year. So you're going to go out and you're going to practice your backside off, and we're going to see who wants to earn a job. Exactly. And so I don't think, because you're going to see some other names that are starting to get thrown out there too, that OU will be involved in. And you'll go, well, hold on a second. Why would we take a right tackle? We got Ryan Foje, right? Again, like I said, I think they're telling these people, hey, man, this spot's open. You can come take it. And you want your best 5 out there. So Nitta, he's done a little transferring. Again, you said started in Virginia Tech. moving over to Western Kentucky. I mean, now he's going to get probably the best offensive line coaching that he's gotten in his career with Bill Bedenbaugh, and you're going to get the opportunity to transfer him into, a good contributing guard or a rotational piece. But you brought up the LSU game. He did a great job at that. Held his own. We saw the LSU's defensive line. That was a pretty good defensive line, and those guys probably went into this game thinking that they were going to abuse, Western Kentucky's offensive line. Didn't really happen with Nita.
Exactly. And then to look at him here, he's only a sophomore. That's, to me, probably the biggest plus about him coming here. Is you're getting a young piece that can be here and be developed in time. Jake Michaelis, most likely your starting center. He's back from, the infection he dealt with that was reported. But him coming back, that's your senior. So basically, Michael was supposed to have been Troy Everett's backup. Troy gets hurt, and then Michael takes the job. And so then Michael plays, and he did well. Then he gets hurt, and you have to shuffle people around because right behind them are two true freshmen that you didn't feel like was ready to play. Now you got a dude that has 9 starts under his belt. And kind of as Kyle mentioned here in the comments, that LSU game, that Western Kentucky QB wasn't pressured. LSU has a pretty solid defensive line. I know y'all know that. Y'all have seen all the 5 stars there. They just could not get any pressure. This is a solid pickup for what Oklahoma is trying to achieve. And so you go from there, and your next item up for bid is, as you mentioned before, Coop, a lot of people have been pushing and asking for, look, I get that he's a depth piece. That's awesome. That's a great feel-good story. I need some starters. Give me some guys that have had starts in college football. Give me some guys that have starts that have done something. You ready? Well, now you get that. Marion Harris, former offensive lineman at Arkansas. He has 20-something starts for his career, maybe 30. I believe it's around there. He got a lot of starts in his career. Let's just put it that way. Guess what? Yeah, this is what you got. SEC starts too. I think that's the big thing to point out is it's SEC starts. It's not just he's played football. Starts in the SEC. That is critical. And he's played left guard, right guard, and right tackle. He's a ginormous human being. Let me pull up his height for y'all so y'all understand what I mean when I say he's a ginormous human being. There it is.
You're going to have to say something you don't want to say.
Yeah, 6'7", 300 pounds from Little Rock, Arkansas. He gives you competitive depth.
Hey, there we go.
But as you mentioned before, Coop, I don't believe it's 100% that it's a coming in here to steal this job. It's a we still got to have veterans that can fight for the job. Our veterans left. So now you go get more and you say, no, the jobs aren't locked up. You can compete for them. Really, the only job I feel like is truly locked up is Fasusi and EPL. But I don't even know where EPL is going to play yet. If he's going to be left or he's going to be right.
Yeah.
But I think those are only two that's probably 100% set. Everybody else is kind of up to grasp, but the goal is to play everybody.
I mean, this is number 2 offensive lineman. I don't think that the staff is done yet. You've got guys from Stacey Ford trying to bring in more Cali Sooners. You've got, Jim Nagy and Bill Bedenbaugh. They know that the offensive line has to do something from a push standpoint. If you watch Arkansas's offense this year, Arkansas put up some numbers.
Yep.
I mean, the only game that they really just absolutely just got stonked on was probably that Notre Dame game. And I think they just ran into a buzzsaw at that point. But this offense was a prolific offense. They spent the bulk of the year in the top 5, in the SEC, and early in the year they were up at the top of the country too. So you get the size aspect, the 6'7", 300. I've seen 310. You're going to bring him in. You're probably going to give him a little bit more bulk. Going to be a junior here, so we got the opportunity to bring in a guy. He says, in one of his tweets that he is going to come in and try to play right tackle.
Yep.
And I mean, once you get him on campus, it is, again, go back to that message that I'm saying is you're going to put guys out there. I like you. I think Fasusi is probably your only guy that you're not moving off of his position. So you got 4 positions. He's got experience at the guard spot. He's got experience at the tackle. Obviously 6'7". He's going to have a pretty big wingspan. And so if you can bring this guy in and he can earn himself a spot and make it a competition, that's what you want to see. And I'm just kind of hoping that we don't find out who the starting offensive line is until August 28th, 29th, something around there, about, a couple days before game day, because I want these position battles to be good. And I want these depth guys. We're going to rotate some guys in like that. That's still going to be it. When you have we have the CD, competitive depth. Sorry. But when you have that, you have opportunities for coaching moments to bring guys off to the side. And with the health situations that we've had for the past 2 years, a lot of times it's like, if you get worked, I mean, there's nobody to bring you to the side. Like there's nobody else to go in because dudes are hurt. So, pray dude stays healthy. Obviously with pushing 30 starts, the guy's got some endurance there too.
Exactly. You want to have those additional bodies because we're going to be filling up. So let me put it this way. I wanted to point out these two on purpose because I need y'all to understand this is kind of back to the conversation we had on Sunday night. We're going to bring in a lot of players. This is what 8, 9, so it's 6 today, 7 players so far. We're probably going to see a few more today. We have to refill the cupboard, basically. We lost 22 players. So expect that a combination of competitive depth on top of players that could potentially play to start. To me, Nita is more of a really good backup that could develop into your starter. Harris is one because I think he only has a year left anyway. He's your Derek Simmons again. He's going to be able to come in and play immediately, or he's going to rotate around in multiple spots as needed and be available to prepare for the NFL draft. Okay. Told y'all we weren't done. There was going to be a lot of this because there's a lot of players that we've got to talk about. Let's go to the next offensive player. Let me get him pulled up because I need y'all to understand that this is another one of those really good, quote unquote, competitive depth players because I told you I was going to get a few of them. Rocky Beers is here, guys. The brother of Reagan Beers. Got to take my sip.
Did you know that, though? Did you know that he was
I didn't know if y'all knew that, but Rocky Beers is the sibling of Reagan Beers, center here at Oklahoma on the basketball team. And Rocky Beers is solid. He's a solid player. Like, you're going to be happy when, you see him on the field. He had 7 touchdowns last season. He was the top guy there at Colorado State. So another Colorado State player we're looking at, 6'5", 245, 31 catches, 388 yards, and 7 touchdowns last season. And the highlights are nice. I went and watched a lot of the highlights of it. I went and watched some of the film on the kid. He can play career numbers, and this is actually why I'm here, because he played at Florida International, Air Force, Florida International, and in Colorado State. So he's moved around a little bit. Colorado State this last season is where he really broke out. 53 catches, 564 yards, averaging 10 yards of reception, 10.6 yards of reception, 9 total touchdowns, with 7 of them coming last season, which he was at 12.5 yards per catch, Coop. That's 2 tight ends now. It's pretty darn good.
And he had a touchdown in what is it? He plays 12 games, so 9 games. He had 9 games with a touchdown. So, and he played on a piss poor team. I mean, I will say that. So when you're an actual, look at the offense that we ran last year. When you are a difference maker and people are trying to stop you and you're still scoring touchdowns, I guess that would be it would be not 9 games because then he'd have 9 touchdowns. So it looks like he just in all the games he played in, he did not score in 3 of them. So, but nonetheless, I mean, this guy is he knows the environment. He knows what his job is to do is to come in and help revamp that tight end room along with Hansen from yesterday. So you got 2, maybe looking at one more too. You got some young cats are going to be coming in, but they get to look at people who know how to play the game, and I think that is equally important as to his production. Is I mean, if you have a bunch of young guys coming in and there's nobody to look at because nobody can do their job at tight end in front of them, you either got to play them early and let them learn on the fly, or let them look at one of these transfer guys. So another great pickup.
Yeah, and he's a solid blocker. You have 1 year of eligibility left, just like Hayden Hansen. So these are 1 year rentals at tight end, which is not bad. And he's a good blocker. He grades out very high as a blocker. So yeah, you got a tackle that can a tight end, 2 tight ends that are really good at blocking, that are really good in line, and he's more of your go tight end, right? Like he's more of like your Mark Andrews. Not saying he's at that talent level, but he's that type. He's a true receiver. And Hayden Hansen's more of your inline blocker, but a safety net guy that you can dump to on a consistent basis. He's not built to go deep. He's built to more so catch, quick passes. But that's those guys. Then next up, I want to talk about, because I think that he is worth talking about before we get into even the bigger fish. That's Rocky Beers again. So that's not the person I want to talk about. I want to talk about Lloyd Avant, running back from Colorado State. So you got another running back. We got another player from Colorado State. So it's 2 players from Colorado State. Lloyd Avant, though, is a special one. And what makes him special is he's coming in as someone that is known by people on this staff. As an understanding, Lloyd Avant played ball he's from Texas. He played from Humble, Texas, to be exact. He's really good down there. He played at Tulsa for Kevin Wilson, who is an analyst on this staff. Brought him in, and now Avant comes in, 90 carries for 417, averaging 4.6 yards a carry, 5 touchdowns. But he had 900 all-purpose yards because he had over 350 return yards. He's a return man with a touchdown. That's why you bring in a guy like him. He gets you everything in that capacity. Coop, what you think?
Yeah, you add another 24 catches. I believe it was 261 yards, another tutty. Mm-hmm. So, this is 5'10", 200. Those are the guys that you don't like rotating in and taking a beating from. We've had Satania doing the punt returns. I think that we'd like to relieve him of those duties. Some of it looks like we don't even try kickoff returns ever. So, this gives you that option to be better and to create an opportunity from the special teams aspect. But again, a guy who had, over 100 and something, 110, 115 touches, on offense, and then the special teams. I mean, the guy gets yards. Even if you look at it's 10.9 yards per catch, had a 41-yard catch on top of everything. So he's got some big play ability. This is a guy who's going to want to come in and he's going to want to, get his opportunity. He didn't transfer here so that he could, play in a blowout at, nobody state. Like, he wants to come in and contribute. So another good size back who is going to come in and give you some capabilities, maybe with the special teams, maybe with good depth from the running back spot, because we've lost a couple of them. And again, same thing like we saw in the chat. A lot of injuries. And so you want somebody who's been in there and been able to go and do stuff. And Kevin Wilson, like you said, is going to be the one that says, I'll vouch for this guy.
Yeah, exactly. So Kevin Wilson, having him as a returner, like you said, we haven't returned. I think we only returned 3 kickoffs this season. So that kind of gives you an idea of where we were when it comes to kickoff returning. He is a kickoff returner. Plus, I looked him up at Colorado State on their actual site. He's 5'10", 210. So he's like a taller Tyree Walker. And he's young. He's only a sophomore. True sophomore, too. So he's played a lot as true freshman and true sophomore because he's that talented. And I think that he adds great depth to what we need, competitive depth.
Another one.
Because you're dealing with injuries and stuff when it came to X-Rob, when it came to Tory Blaylock. They're going to have to get better. And because they're going to have to get better, that to me is where we're at. Because they need to get healthier, you're going to want to have a player that can go out there and actually take over. You're going to need somebody that's going to be available to help. So I expect us to get one more running back out of the portal, not going to lie. Just because you'll have Jonathan Haddon, you have the Zephyr Walker as your two freshmen coming in. X-Rob and Torrey probably going to deal with some sort of rehab, surgery, or whatever for the injuries they've dealt with. You'll still have Gabe and Andy Bass, but you're going to probably need, with Avant, you're going to probably need one more running back going into spring ball. So
even for the practice reps too. I mean, it's hard to recover when you're out there running. And we've seen with this defense is going to cause casualties, and so you want somebody who's going to be able to rotate in so that you're not trying to use your game day backs in practice every single snap.
Right, exactly. You need to be able to mix it up in practice because remember, I like to remind everybody of this though. Is that these guys in practice are going against our defense. And if y'all remember, and I can't remind y'all this, we were injuring other teams' players quite often on the defensive side.
Yep.
That's just the way it works, man. That's the way it works. Okay. To me, this is the biggest fish that came out of the offensive side of the ball. Y'all know I'm going to tease you on it. We'll talk about it first. Got to pay this bill. Before we keep going, let's talk about our partners over there at Sleeper, our presenting sponsor for the channel. We have to give them a shout out. If you have not checked them out for Daily Fantasy Ball, you are missing out. They're more than just season-long fantasy, and they've got some great promos and options. Like right now, if you use our promo code UNFAIR, they're going to give you $20 just for signing up. And if you decide to make a deposit, use our promo code. They're going to match your deposit at 100% up to $100. And so all you do is go inside of the app, pick two or more players, pick more or less on their stats, and boom, you are in the game and you can make up to 1,000 times your money. So turning those game days into paydays. Also, inside the app, cool stuff. They show you live stats. You've got a chat function so you can chop it up with folks about the biggest plays and the biggest players at the time. So if you want to get into the action, you have the opportunity. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're going to match your deposit at 100% up to $100. And new users, $20 just for signing up. No deposit is needed, so doesn't hurt to try. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit that like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. Ha bazinga. Thank you for the $2. We appreciate it. Let Nagy cook. This is what I told y'all. Remember, Nagy's only been here since end of February. So the spring portal was his first one. And the spring portal is always the weaker portal because it's more of the players that you need to backfill injuries for. Like, you don't always have game breakers fully showing up in that portal. And most of the time, it's always the fall one where people want that fresh start, and then they can go through an entire spring practice with their new team. So keep that in mind. But Coop, you ready?
Let's do it.
Nagy cooking, man. This is one I'm the most. I'm excited about all of them, but this one jumped out to me. That got your boy's attention. It's gonna be that boy Trell Harris. Like, I know a lot of y'all know that we've been talking about we gonna need to get ourselves another wide receiver. Get us another good body at the wide receiver spot. Trell is that guy. I watched some Virginia ball, mainly because, one, somehow they were about to win the ACC. They were that good. They started off dang near undefeated. Number two, Chandler Morris was their quarterback. And so, former Sooner, right? So, I love me some Chandler Morris. Went to go give him a little support and watch him play. Trell Harris was having some games. Statistics from last season: 59 catches, 847 yards, 5 touchdowns at 14.4 yards a catch. 6 foot, 200 pounder out of Illinois. Cool. he kind of a dude. If you watched him play, he's a dude.
He's got a lot of capabilities, averaging 14, yards per catch. Has a long of 75, 5 touchdowns. Led the team in receiving. So if you can go get a number one from somebody else, and it ends up being a P4, because I know that was a big complaint was, well, I mean, why are we going down to G5 and going everywhere else? Like this is a guy who wants to come in for his swan song. He wants to go in and put a great year on tape. He just saw what Isaiah Satania came in and did. This is your big opportunity to come in. And I love the 6 foot tall, 200-pound, like that body frame, just because that's a guy who's going to be able to, bounce off some tackles. He's going to be able to fight for the ball in positioning. And if you watch, I mean, he's got some hands to him too. I know there's one of the plays where I think Chandler Morris let the ball rip, and dude didn't have a step on his defensive back yet. He was going against the safety, and he went right up over the top, one-handed it, fell down right before the goal line. I mean, it was a bomb, and it was a very, very, very competitive catch. So I expect this guy to be one that gets some competitive catches out there this year.
A lot of them. I expect him to get a bunch of them, just because that's the talent that he is. He's good at one-on-one battles. He's good at catching the ball at the high point. He's good at doing one-handed fancy catches. He started his career at Kent State, and then he went to Virginia. Remember, Virginia was 11-3 this season. They won 11 games. Chandler Morris was the quarterback, threw for 3,000 yards, and he was their top guy. And this was the year where he broke out. You started to see where the talent truly is. I believe his breakout game, the game to go watch, is when they played on the road against Duke. 8 catches, 61 yards. I actually posted the highlights on my social, so you can follow me at Unfair Sports here on X. I posted that video highlights from that game the ACC put together. Buddy, he good. He's fun to watch, and this is the type of guy y'all want. So I'm gonna put together the depth chart and everything. I'll probably put something out later this week, probably closer to the weekend, because it makes more sense. And maybe even my Sunday morning video. I don't know. But I know that with the additional players that we're going to be adding, it's going to take some time to understand that it's going to take some time for us to figure out who all is going to be what. But you're going to see a lot of these. There's going to be a lot of these players that's going to populate. But I think the one thing I want to make sure I clarify before we go to the last player that's committed today so far, knowing my luck, we're going to get another commitment while we're here live. So make sure you keep your eyes open for me, Coop. That's always a possibility. But a lot of the players we're bringing in, like this guy, like the Trail Harrises. Of course, Rocky Beers as well as Hayden Hansen are brought because we need tight ends. We're very young there. I think John Locke's the only one back outside of Trinae Washington. Everybody else, and Kay McIntyre, he's actually still around. The rest of them are all portaled or, graduated. Wide receiver-wise, we're so young. We're super young. And the only real, you got J. Mike coming back for, his final year. Giovanni Gibson coming off that injury. He's going to be back. It appears Satania is going to probably be pulling up. Everybody keeps saying they think he's coming back. So the expectation is he'll be back. So you bring in a player like Trail to help get you that number one status type player to help groom your young guys like a Zion Kearney, like an Elijah Thomas, right? A Manny Choice, Jaden Pettit, Daniel Odom. Yeah, you get those guys groomed up. ZZ, you get them all groomed up with seeing a number one go out there and really, really cook, because Oklahoma's pushing this year. This is the year they want to push for. 26 was the target year, and last season us winning 10 games was like, all right, we are on pace, and that's what we needed.
You need weapons. So I think this is one. I think Trail Harris is one of 3 guys that we're going to be bringing in. I do think that right now we can say Parker Livingston, he's on campus. I think that we've got a little bit we had a little bit of a treasure chest of money just in case we want to go after a Cam Coleman, but now that thing's approaching north of $4 million for one guy, you can go get yourself a bunch of guys and maybe eclipse that with the aggregate. Because I said it last night. You go out and spend $2 million on a guy, and he comes up with 900 yards. Like, you're not going to be happy about that.
Nope.
I think Trell is Trell the same thing as a Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman? I don't think so. Is Trell another Isaiah Satania? Yes, with a different skill set, the ability to go downfield. He wants to go downfield. So you bring in a couple of other guys, and yeah, Ryan, 100% with you. Like,
Pitts gonna be
you're going to put playmakers on the field, and you want the competition for the snaps. You got to know how to run all aspects of the game, the blocking, the route running, not just the catching. I heard a lot about Elijah Thomas was very, very dominant in one-on-ones. A lot of times wasn't at the right spot. So maybe now now he's got the complete year in the system. Maybe he takes that jump. Jane Pettit, he's going to be very, very young. Yeah. I really, really enjoy that. And as you look through, I mean, we talked about the portal ratio last night, Jay. Every single quarterback in the Final Four right now is a transfer quarterback. You're going to have guys in here who are wanting, because sometimes you're going to eval somebody. It's not always on the eval. Sometimes it's on the player too. You got to get out there and you got to do your job. And so if you have the opportunity to bring in guys who have proven stats in the P4, like Trell, like a Parker Livingston, maybe another guy from the SEC, you're going to get some really, really good returns because you're putting multiple weapons out there. And if you can put multiple weapons out there, it's not just all based off of hoping that Isaiah Satania could break a big 80-yarder so that you guys can, see something big happen.
Exactly. And that's one of the biggest problems is you don't want to put – last year, a lot of weight was on Mateer's shoulders. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of it was put on his own because that's just the type of player that he is. He wanted to make sure that if they go down swinging, he wants to make sure he's the one swinging the hardest for everybody. I respect it. I also would prefer him not to have that much weight on his shoulders. That's just me.
Yeah.
But that's how he plays. So with that being said, I want y'all to understand and hear your boy when I say this. There's a reason why we went live instead of me making a video, because there's way too many players, and I would prefer to sit here and have this conversation with Coop, because we're going to really have to start theory crafting around the roster and everything, right? But the last commit that has come through so far, because I expect, I'm saying so far, because I'm not even going to say today, because I think that it's going to be more today. I think we may see a couple more before the day ends. But so far, this cornerback I really love, Dakota Fields. And y'all may wonder, Jay, why you all up on this corner? I want y'all to remember two things. One, we lost Von Jordan, which I really loved, but I understood why he went for opportunities to go play more. And I think he's at Baylor now. So shout out to him. That's huge.
Baylor.
Then Malik Hawkins, your freshman phenom, that was going to be a part of that three-headed monster rotation, is now at West Virginia. So you lost two. You're going to need some more depth players. You're going to need some more players that can go into the rotation and play. Potentially take some of the veterans in the middle, push them either up or out. I need push. I need to see that there is true competitive depth.
You did it again.
I'm going to keep doing it. Probably going to pee like crazy after this one. Fields is a good get. Now, when y'all see the numbers, don't y'all freak out. Now, I know some of y'all going to troll me just because y'all are that loving. You're going to troll. So I totally understand the fact that you're going to troll me. So I'm not tripping on that. To those that take this seriously, please don't take this seriously. Enjoy what's going on here. But Fields, though, he ain't got no stats because he's a true freshman, dog. He's a true freshman, 6'2", 200 pounds. Y'all said y'all like big corners, right? Buddy, that's a big corner. Coop, that's a big corner.
And his team's playing in the Final Four now. Yep. You've got he's got some guys who have some tenure out in front of him. So kind of the same thing with Davon Jordan. Not I don't think Dan Lanning rotates the defensive backs like Brent Venables does. He's going to be able to come in. That's a body size that, again, you can't teach. You lose Malik Hawkins a little bit on the smaller side, Davon Jordan a little bit on the thinner side. I mean, he's going to Oklahoma for a reason. And I think that, coming from California, I think our boy Stacey Ford probably had something to do with this because he was recruiting
You
him
know,
in his previous stop too. And so if
maybe.
Dakota wants to reach out and say, "Hey, I want an opportunity," he's seen what the opportunity was at Oregon. He wasn't getting rotated in, but then he got to see Jacoby Johnson, Eli Bowen, Cortland Guillory, Davon Jordan, a lot of guys rotating in, and he says, "All right, man, I'd rather get some snaps than nothing." And coming in as a sophomore too, he'll be a sophomore when he plays for OU. Body a little bit more matured. Maybe this is another opportunity. That size, I mean, that's a good cheetah size too. So
Yeah, he really
you
is.
can
That's his
offer a
size.
couple different opportunities for him, and a pretty decent wingspan.
Yeah, and the way that we rotate players like crazy. Don't get it twisted. I think we're going to get one more corner. I actually expect us to go get one more, and because we're going to get one more, we'll have an opportunity to see another one that could pop. Right? Like you asked, why do we need another? Why we have corners? Peyton Bowen's not a corner. Peyton Bowen is a safety. Jacoby Johnson is still here. You got Eli, you got Cortland, you got Tristan Haynes, and you got Derek Johnson. JJ Newcomb, I don't know what his shoulder looks like, but he's also back. But we play a lot of corners. We play a lot.
Yeah.
We rotate a ton. And that California connection, as Coop mentioned, that is the good stuff. So, all right. Now, what must we do, Coop? We, as a family, need to. Oh, Coop is missing. That's my bad. Give me a second. Why is Coop missing? That was weird. Took Coop off on accident. My bad, Coop. He can still hear everything though. That's the good thing. We'll bring you back. There we go. That was weird. Anyway,
I'm offended.
you had to kick him off for a minute. But we need DBs because we need those additional bodies in order to do our rotations. Like I said, we rotate a lot of people. And that size, and you made that good point though, Coop, he could be a cheetah too. We like our cheetahs to be DB size or giants. And I think the only giant we have left right now is, Nesta's 6'4", Marcus James is 6'3", and Taylor Heim is 6'6". I think he's really your last. I think he's the last one or whatnot. All right. If you got questions, put them in the comments. I'm going to start starring some, and we're going to look at, we're going to talk about that as well as people that we know are visiting and what we think our chances are of landing them. Before we do that, shout out to our partners there at Sleeper. I'm going to make a couple of picks here on the app because you can do that as well. I told y'all the thing I love about them most is you can go in there. They got live stats. They got live updates to get you notifications. Plus, they're going to match your first deposit at 100% up to $100. Plus, give you $20 just checking them out. No deposit needed. So, like for NFL coming this weekend, we'll look at the NBA. Brown is our free pick. Jaylen Brown. May again take him. You just pick two or more players, pick more or less on the stats, and you're in there. Kevin Durant, 10.5 assists, 3 rebounds. Go ahead and take more. Why not? Karl Anthony Towns, I don't think he gets a double-double this time around, but I do think James Harden's going to do all the work for those boys. So jump in the game. If you think your knowledge is better than mine, check them out. Use our promo code UNFAIR. They're match you at 100% up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Thank you all for pulling up. Again, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. All right, Coop. We know that there are still visitors here in town. We have Parker Livingstone, the former Texas wide receiver, 6'4", behemoth of a human being, is in town right now visiting. How you feeling about that one? I think that that's a good one. I think there's a good chance that we could probably pull that one off.
I will say that I was wondering if we'd get that announcement while we were on. I think that's why I talk about it as much as I have. Texas went all in. I mean, you see the opposite of kind of what OU's doing. Texas said, "Hey, man, we're going to clear up some space. You can't go offer Cam and then boot dudes. It's just not a great look." But they cleared up some space. They tried to offer Parker maybe not the money that he thought he could get. He had the conversation, went to Indiana. Now he's here. This is a great opportunity for him to go and get himself, a great opportunity for playing time. You know that he's going to be good. I mentioned it last night. Had the single touchdown against Ohio State. He just got missed quite a few times. He has a little bit of a knack of getting open, and he's a freshman. He is a freshman. Now, he does need to continue to work on the hands because there were a couple drops, but 6'4", yeah, what is he closing in on 200 pounds? Like, that's a big body dude. And I can promise you this: there'll be one game on his calendar that he will circle if he signs here. So feel really, really good about Parker being here.
Same. I think there's a great possibility there. Ha Bazinga asked the question, why is Ott not in the portal? Does he really think he's going to redeem himself? He doesn't have eligibility. He was a 1-year rental. That's why. He was a rental. He was a 1 year. That's it. So he's gone. He's gone to the NFL. That is, I mean, the clearest indicator right there is that's why you're seeing us grab more running backs, grab more players, because it's just something that we need to do. But everybody thinks that we have a very good shot with Livingstone. I know that he's in town. He posted a picture being in Norman. I'm hoping we can close that deal, man. I think that one, another 6'4" young wide receiver would be awesome to go with the young room that we have. That'd be like five dudes over 6'4". At least.
Yeah. I mean, you want the big bodies, and you start with a 6'8" tight end, you get a 6'4" guy. You need that. Want to see Livingston again. Want to see him kind of push in on, do some, I guess what you would call evolution in his game. He's played 1 year. This guy was Arch Manning's roommate. So
he really was.
It's kind of a crazy situation just that we're having this conversation at all. But hey, here, you wanted some upgrades on the receivers. This is a big upgrade, and like you said, Jay, him as a freshman coming as a sophomore, that is a very, very big opportunity, and you missed out on. I just see Evans' conversation. TJ Moore never ended up entering, redid his deal. He's staying at Clemson, yep. So you take the guys that you want, and last thing on Parker is, they rolled out the red carpet for him. So heard a lot about about that kind of stuff going on right now. They're letting him know that what you're looking for, we can do, and here's what the plans are. And it would be great for Parker too if he could go get a win down in the Cotton Bowl and then get back to the playoffs and make a championship run.
Exactly. So with him, he could, come across and we can go ahead and win that Red River the next time. Hopefully we don't have an injured quarterback going into that game. But no, I like Parker's game personally. I've always been a fan of how good of a player he is. And like I said, as mentioned in the comments, he left Indiana without committing. That made me have questions. Soon as he left and actually made this visit, I'm like, oh, okay, so he's really considering pulling up. So let's see it happens. I don't know. All right, now, so if you got any questions, feel free to pop them in here, shoot a super chat, and I'll definitely find them the fastest. Supporting the channel. We appreciate you. From there, though, Coop, linebackers are the ones I know that we're looking at. There's 3 linebacker names that I've heard a lot of. You've got Owen Long, another Colorado State guy, had over 100-something tackles. The other one is, Gideon Espen Leprone. Dad snuck that in. Shout out to him for that one. He from Bowling Green. I know he's doing some rounds. And then Cole Sullivan snuck in and visited this weekend, and nobody can figure out how the heck he got here, but he snuck in and visited. And right now we're in a battle with Michigan for him to go back home. What you think? You think we got a chance of winning that one or closing it?
I mean, supposedly we're doing an in-home visit right now, so you get a chance to get in there. I mean, he wanted to leave Michigan for a reason. It'd be so easy just to be like, I'm done. Like, sorry guys, like you don't make the trip, up here. But Michigan's going to be starting some stuff over. I don't think that they're doing it in a rebuild mode, but they're going to be starting some stuff over. They've lost a couple of other guys already. Seems like guys on both sides of the ball have kind of left, and it's not guys who were backups like Davon Jordan looking for more opportunity playing time, but it was it's guys who were playing their starting safety, etc. So I really feel like there is. I'm going to go with 55-45 in favor of OU on this one. He is one that I think that the staff really, really, really wants. They're reworking an NIL deal for him. And so, yeah, I would, this would be a big one. And I wish I had a better, more definitive, like, yes, I believe he's coming, but I just believe that we are willing to do whatever it takes on this one.
Yeah, I can't give a definitive on none of them. I do know for us, we're pretty challenged with
words.
No, I'm trying to find. I guess could be challenged. I am challenged with words. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, but we're battling the NCAA right now. I guess that's the best way for me to say it.
Yeah,
the NCAA hates us. They don't like our kind. Say something about you people. And because we're battling the NCAA for Owen Heineke's eligibility, we don't know what things are going to look like come spring ball. So in that case, we kind of got to double and triple down on two of those three names I told y'all, linebacker, unless somebody else new enters the portal that we say, oh no, we want him more. But we got to double and triple down on. I'm thinking Cole Sullivan is the one that we're going to probably really dump and double and triple down on, because we don't know. Because if Kip comes back, that's a great start. But Owen and the NCAA in that fight, there's a great chance, to me, he ain't going to get no love from them, and we going to lose him. So we need another linebacker that's proven to go with the young pups to keep the party going. So, but I do agree, Penn, we can't go storm the NCAA building. I don't know how well that would go, but we can totally try it. Because the problem is they don't even know the rules. They just, making it up as they go. Can we? Cans we have, Coop? Cans we? There's one more to talk about. One that you did a video on that I actually got a chance to, when I edited, I was able to do everybody but that one. Alex Van Schuren, defensive tackle.
Summerin.
Van Summerin. I'm sorry, Van Summerin. Van Summerin. Summerin. Yeah. He's a beast. We close it?
I think this one's another one that we're kind of waiting for. You lose Dom, you lose G Baby. Summerin, he is a guy who, what is it? I have him written down here, 6'3", 295. Think he needs a few more LBs, but again, played in the Big Ten, so he had the opportunity to see some of the bigger teams. Yeah. So we saw so much success with having a great defensive tackle rotation. And we were extremely healthy on the defensive line as far as guys not just being, catastrophically injured. Jaden Jackson had had a little nagging thing through most of the end of the season. You saw David Stone, the jump from David Stone from a freshman to a sophomore. This defensive line is going to get the same accolades going into next year as it did going into this year. People are going to say this is the best defensive line in the country.
Yeah.
This past year, it was because of depth. So you bring in a guy like Van Summeren, and he is another guy that you can put in there. You want to be able to say that there's a couple of the pups who want to take a step two and get into the rotation. The only person that we saw we left was our boy Marcus Strong, and same thing with Davon Jordan.
Do not want him to go.
It's a deal to where he really had the opportunity to get out there and go become a guy somewhere, not a rotational guy, but the guy somewhere. So wishing him the best of luck. Hopefully he has a great opportunity. So, but yeah, get Van Summeren in. You probably are looking at a couple of other guys. There's you don't always want 1 year, 2 year guys. You want to have some, longer term guys too. So I know that there's like the cat out of UTSA as a freshman. So you want some project type guys too. That that you're going to get some opportunity to groom. And right now, I mean, who's doing it better than Chavis and Bates? I don't know if you can emphatically and definitively say that there's another defensive end coach, combination that are doing it better than the two guys that we have.
Exactly. We got a lot more players that I know that we're fishing for. Don't be surprised when you hear a few more commitments over the next 24 hours, because a lot of our visits are also still coming at the end of this week. So we're not done with the visits yet. So in the end, I expect roughly 20 more players. Actually, I expect about 22 to 25 players, especially because the roster stuff went up to where you can have up to 105 is what the SEC went ahead and went to. So I have to respect everybody. So since we got that, I totally see us actually diving headfirst into bringing more depth and more players in on this roster. So, all right. Most of the questions in here I know we have answered. I do think that Nigel will be get some run as well. Yes, John Mateer is your quarterback. He ain't going nowhere. Bo Bentley is right behind him. Same thing with Jet New and with Newbauer, but I think Bo Bentley is your next quarterback. Watching him and Salina, the kid can ball. So
yeah,
just expect that.
Another tough guy too. I mean, what was it? Separated his shoulder in one game, came out for a couple of plays, went back in, stuck it in some more. So I don't know if they'll go after another quarterback. I think that you feel comfortable with Whit Newbauer as your backup. I mean, just as most of these teams, you lose your starting quarterback, you're gonna have issues anyway. So, but I think Whit Newbauer is a guy who we paid a little bit more money to stick around, and I don't think that was a bad deal, because I don't necessarily know. I mean, for every Trinidad Chambliss, there's 600 other guys who end up transferring, year after year after year, like our boy, the new UNLV quarterback out there, Mr. Jackson Arnold. So, but
I think he's going to do good out there. I'm going to be honest. I think that's a great landing spot for him.
It's Dan a great Mullen, opportunity.
Yeah,
great opportunity
for him. I think it's going to be great for him. I think he actually flourishes in that system.
Yeah.
Hopefully they sit him for a year. That would be nice too. But I don't see it. I don't see nobody sitting him. That's the problem. Nobody going to sit him.
No, I didn't. I mean, that was better opportunity for him than I thought he was going to get. But That's just
Heck,
me.
North Texas is basically open. You probably should have went and checked out North Texas. That would have been a good spot.
UNLV. It's Las Vegas. They took a gamble.
Hey, put this man in jail. Someone arrest him. Arrest this man, Coop. I'm done with him. All right, we're going to kick it out of here. We're going to leave. Give y'all just about an hour's worth of greatness. We appreciate y'all jumped on for real. Like, y'all really support. This is better than even our Sunday stuff. Good Lord. Y'all in here. That portal got y'all excited too, didn't it?
Hey, there's a tight end question with LePac, because I know that I mispronounce a guy who's not going to be here. Don't do it.
Kick him out. You got to go. Where is the band hammer? Mods. Kick this man out. But tight end coaches, there's been 4 names that I've heard that could make sense. Kevin Wilson was already on staff. I don't see that happening. Brian Ellis has been a name that's been floated around. He's at Alabama, but he is he worked with Arbuckle at Western Kentucky. Nick Whitworth, he's at West Virginia. No, sorry, not West Virginia. He's at Wake Forest. He followed the head coach from Washington State to Wake Forest, but he worked with Ben Arbuckle at Washington State. And then, of course, Jason Witten has been the other one, the former NFL tight end, and he currently is a head coach in high school ball. I'm going to be honest. I do not think Witten is a legitimate prospect. His son is a senior in high school. I don't think he's going to stop coaching his son. So I think everyone should just take that out your brain. Next year, maybe you get him as an analyst. And then he moves up to tight end coach. So Witten, I'm going to say no. Whitworth, that's a possibility. I know that Whitworth is probably your next option. He's a special teams coach now there at Wake. So he maybe want to move up back into the tight end role. But he spent most of his career as a running back coach, except for at Washington State. He was tight ends and special teams coordinator. Don't know what that looks like. LePac is off of the table because he has re-upped with Kansas State. Well, he's been hired at Kansas State because they got a new staff. Colin Klein said they're going to have him back. Does that mean that he's actually off the table? No, it does not. It does not mean that he is not a viable option. But they did just post on socials, Kansas State did, that he's coming back.
Yep.
Let me pull that up real quick just so y'all see it. So y'all don't call me a liar, because I don't be telling y'all stories. I be telling y'all truths.
And this
I
is,
don't know.
But I will say that with the signing or them announcing that he's been rehired, it's happened the past couple of years where coaches, position coaches specifically, re-signed with new staff and then something else happened.
Yep.
So I wouldn't take him completely off the board yet.
Yeah. So for me, the good thing for whoever comes in, they've got themselves a really good foundation at tight end. You got 2 seniors. You got Trinae to work with. You brought in Ryder Mix, who's out for the year, but you've also got Tyler Ruxer. Cade McIntyre is still on the roster, and so is John Locke. So you've got a solid, with Trinae Washington and the 2 freshmen, you got a pretty solid foundation right there that now you just got to build off of with these seniors. I need somebody that can go recruit too. I actually would prefer they bring someone in that could bring a tight end with them. Give us a third because we could use 3, especially a young one. But we'll see.
I mean, as of right now, the name with Brian Ellis, Alabama. Well, my thoughts along the lines are Alabama's recruited some tight ends. They got a lot of younger tight ends. They've had a lot of tight ends leave over the past couple of years. You know, how does everybody continue to feel about Kalen DeBoer on the staff? Kalen DeBoer has a lot of his Washington staff. Ellis is not one of his Washington staff members. But I would say this is if you do bring in, let's go with Brian Ellis, who's a younger guy. Kevin Wilson is going to be tutoring a lot of stuff on the offense. He's going to have his hands on the offense. He has that opportunity to continue to get in there and do some good coaching. Work with not only the kids but also with the staff members. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities to. You didn't hurt my feelings. I feel I just. I'm from Oklahoma. There you go. That's what I'll say. But
yeah, he's from Oklahoma. He's really bad at this. I'm from Oklahoma too, which is why I'm also bad at it. So we own it, baby.
Hey, you go to Radosevich with Sooner Scoop. It's a running joke about how he pronounces words and names. And if you even go back to the franchise, I think Jerry and Kelly Gregg used to do the deal where they read off the people's the rosters for the opposing teams before, and that was one of my favorite bits. But as of right now, that's where I would say is you look at Lepak and Brian Ellis. Both of them have some tight ends that if they did move and if they had those good relationships with, they would be opportunities to bring more guys along.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. All right, that's it. We're going to give y'all the rest of y'all's evening. This is the reason why I went live instead of actually making a video. So thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button if you're new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. We will be back Wednesday. And we'll break down the next set of commitments that come through by then because I know more will be there then. So, yeah. Appreciate y'all as usual. And, yeah, we'll talk soon. Peace.